Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Now, when I was a kid, during the 1950s and 60s, that was the height of the Cold War. And we were indoctrinated that communism was evil and capitalism was good. We were not told the truth, that communism, socialism, and capitalism were simply competing economic theories, and that good and evil didn't apply. They're essentially like a tool. A hammer can be used to build a house or to beat somebody's brains in. The hammer itself is morally neutral. Now, it's true that communist countries, for the most part, during that time, were oppressive dictatorships. But the economic theory itself was and is morally neutral. So, for example, socialist countries have a really good standard of living. The people are happy, their rights are respected, and they are well taken care of. Much better than we are here. But still, we here in the United States basically have never educated ourselves as to what socialism is. So we now have a socialist, Bernie Sanders, running for president. And the Republicans feel that all they have to do is just keep using that label, and he will automatically be disqualified from being elected president, despite the fact that his ideas are exactly what this country needs. But if ever there was an economic system that has been perverted towards evil, it's capitalism as we know it today. We see this in the depredations of Wall Street and their fraudulent practices, and the predatory practices of banks and lending companies, and rising income inequality, and the low minimum wage. And now we have the example of Volkswagen, which has engaged in one of the biggest frauds in history. For years, they have had software in their diesel cars, which was put in there and designed just to fool the machines that are used to inspect cars for pollution, so that they could sell their cars as clean energy cars when they were not. The decision to do this was made at the highest levels of the company. Now, no doubt there will be fines and penalties against Volkswagen. But it is time for the CEOs and owners of companies that do this to go to jail. We'll see whether that happens or not. But this is nothing compared to Martin Shkreli, a former hedge fund manager who has moved into the biotech field. His company, Turing Pharmaceuticals, bought the rights to a life-saving drug called Daraprim, it's been around for years. It's not like they just developed this drug, and it costs about 52 cents to make. He raised the price of each pill from $13.50 to $750. Now, after the firestorm that has happened and the threat of action from Congress, he's backed off on that. But this is not his first time doing that. A year ago, as CEO of Retrofen, he acquired the rights to a drug called Thiola, which is used to treat an incurable kidney disease. And he planned to jack up the price of that drug too. Fortunately, he was fired and is being sued by the company for misuse of funds. And believe me, it's not just in this area that the guy's a creep. Matter of fact, he was harassing one of his former employees from retrofit. As a matter of, not just the employee, but the wife and children of the employee, and he didn't stop until the police intervened and warned him that he better back off. Now, the good thing is that a spotlight has been thrown on big pharma's pricing policies, because Shkreli is not alone in being a predator. Big pharma, they routinely price drugs way out of the reach of people, causing healthcare costs to rise and rising insurance premiums. And because of lobbying by the pharmaceutical companies, the FDA cannot regulate the price of the drugs that come on the market. Now, when the Affordable Care Act was implemented, Republicans hysterically claimed that it was a government takeover of health care. Unfortunately, it wasn't, and that's the problem. As long as we have for-profit health care, evil capitalists like Shkreli will be able to thrive in that industry, preying on our citizens when they're at their most vulnerable. As I said, capitalism is like a hammer, and right now it's being used to beat our brains out. Thanks for listening.